Hello, hello. So good evening. Can you please check whether my voice is audible or not? Hello.
Hello all. Can you please check? Can you please check whether it is audible or not? Hello. Yes, it's audible. Thanks for the confirmation, editorial committee. Good evening. Very good evening. So there has been some delay here. Right, loud and clear. So this is class number 3, guys. Current affairs. So I'll be discussing few components today. So let me share the link also. So it should be noted that every year they are going to ask questions on this region, particularly West Asia. I said I'll come to West Asia at last because let the things settle down between Iran and Israel. And then we can discuss about the entire West Asia. This time we have to discuss West Asia has been in news for many reasons. We have to discuss about Israel, Iran. We have to discuss on the so-called Gulf countries, GCC. This I am keeping it to the last. This I am keeping it to the last. Already we have studied about Persian Gulf, Red Sea, and then we have seen some other regions here, right? Yesterday I said about Israel, a few aspects like blue line, yellow line, red line. In these aspects we have discussed this. So we shall be continuing these components here. We shall be continuing those aspects here, right? This I'll come to the last. In the middle also, no need to go through it. So now let's start going through it. So let's have a look at it. Northern Sea route, go through it. So what we have here, Northern Sea route is the proposal of India to connect the Pacific and Northern Sea like this. So normally whenever we are trading, the existing route is through this way. So now what we wanted to do is we wanted to develop this Northern Sea route. So Northern Sea route is connected by or is developed by the so-called proposed by India. Just remember that, no need to remember any other thing. Next, Qatar, I said I'll come to these features at last. Now this is important, guys. Chagos Archipelago. Chagos Archipelago. So now this is important. So Chagos Archipelago handed over the sovereignty of Chagos Archipelago to the so-called Mauritius. Now this was earlier in the domain of United Kingdoms. Now it has handed over this sovereignty to Mauritius. So this is important. And here you have one military base of US, and that is known as Diego Garcia. So Diego Garcia is one thing that we have to remember. So Diego Garcia is one current affairs here, and Chagos Archipelago. Second thing, so this was given over to Mauritius. Only one sentence is important, nothing more is important. So here, military base Diego Garcia of USA and UK handed over the sovereignty of Chagos Archipelago to Malaysia, Mauritius. Next, Persian Gulf. I'll come to this entire Gulf again once the war is over. Next, Tokara Islands. Now, Tokara Islands is present between, look here, this is Japan and extended part of Japan. Extended part of Japan. Tokara Islands is present here. So just remember, Tokara Islands is present in Japan. Next. Next. No. Bitra Islands, BITRA. This is the smallest inhabited island in the United Territory of Lakshadweep. So Bitra Islands was given to the so-called Lakshadweep. Was given to the so-called Lakshadweep. So just remember this. Bitra Islands is smallest inhabited island, Union Territory of Lakshadweep. Next, New Caledonia. This is this news is important this year. East Timor, you are seeing, right? This is Australia. This is East. East Timor was a part of ASEAN group this year. East Timor is a part of ASEAN group this year, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So that's why this region is important. Now you look at New Caledonia. New Caledonia is a colony of France. A colony of France. Right. So just remember that New Caledonia, France colony, East Timor, ASEAN group. Next one, Tokara Islands, extended part of Japan. And then Chagos Archipelago, United States handed over the sovereignty to Mauritius. To Mauritius. Next one, Easter Islands. Easter Islands. So East is present where? It is present in the so-called Polynesian island. It is present towards the so-called Southeast Pacific Ocean. This is Pacific Ocean Southeast. So just remember Easter Islands. Easter Islands is present here. Now why this is famous? This is the about to submerge. This is about to submerge due to climate change. That is why it is in news. Easter Islands is going to become Easter Islands. Okay, అంటే Easter years లా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. UNESCO World Heritage Site. Rapa Nui National Park is also present here. Rapa Nui National Park is also present here. Next, Israel will come again. Yesterday I have said borders of Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt. Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt are borders of Israel. And you have Golan Heights here, West Bank, Gaza Strip. Golan Heights here, West Bank, Gaza Strip. And then here you have Jordan River. Jordan River is draining into Dead Sea. Jordan River is draining into Dead Sea. Right, we have Gulf of Aqaba, Suez Gulf here. These things you should remember. Maldives. Prime Minister of India paid official visit to Maldives. So that is why it is in news. So Maldives capital is Mali. Now we have to remember only few things here. 8-degree channel, 9-degree channel, 10-degree channel. Only three things. So Prime Minister paid a visit to this. That is why this is important. So Maldives and Minokai are separated by 8 degrees channel. 8 degrees channel, which is also called as Bangaru channel. 8 degrees. Next, Lakshadweep and Minokai are separated by 9 degrees channel. So Lakshadweep Islands and Minokai 9 degrees, 8 degrees. We have 10 degrees and Andaman Nicobar. So 10 degrees separates Andaman and Nicobar. So Andaman Nicobar 10 degrees, Lakshadweep and Minokai 9 degrees, Minokai and Maldives 8 degrees. Minokai and Maldives 8 degrees. These are the things. After that, just now one country that is called Diego Gracia. Diego Gracia has been the space for USA. So in that context, you have to remember it. Next. So recently, Philippines and India has made a trade agreement. So we have declared a strategic partnership with this. So the plan of action India and Philippines has made for the next 5 years, 2025 to 2029, they made this. So India and Philippines, the plan of action. Just remember that, that is more than enough. Next, Cyprus. Prime Minister of India visited this place, guys. That is in Mediterranean Sea. So after almost 23 years, a formal visit has been made by Prime Minister to this place. As a result, this is important. So this is very, very important. Cyprus, have to remember this. Cyprus has been in news here. So now Cyprus is present in this area. This is the third largest island in the Mediterranean Sea after Sicily and Sardinia. Sardinia and Sicily, there will be two things, and we have this one. So Cyprus earlier was a British colony. Cyprus earlier was a British colony. However, today it got its own republic. So it is an independent country. The Prime Minister visited this. Earlier it was colony of Britain, third largest island in Mediterranean Sea after Sardinia and Sicily. Next, Indian Prime Minister not only visited Cyprus, Chile this time. So Chile's capital, Santiago. Chile capital, Santiago. Borders of Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru. Peru, Bolivia, Argentina. Chile is important here, very, very important. Prime Minister visited here. So borders are Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, ABP. Argentina, Bolivia, Peru. Right, ABCP. You can remember this. Next, physical features of Chile is also important. You have to remember this one. What is this? The landscape is dominated by Andes mountains. So you have mountain ranges here known as Andes mountains, and you have Atacama desert. You have Atacama desert, which is present here. Atacama. Now, Argentina, Chile, lithium triangle. Argentina called lithium triangle. So what are things important here? Chile borders are Peru. Andes mountains are passing through it. Capital is Santiago. Fourth one is this is lithium triangle are important in Chile. Next, going to Singapore, Prime Minister of Singapore paid official visit to India. So that is why 60 years diplomatic relations have been there between India and Singapore. Hence, you have to remember this. So Singapore is a sovereign city-state. Singapore is a sovereign state, and it is passing through Malacca Strait. So Malacca Strait is present here, and this is this Malacca Strait and Singapore. Okay, this is a sovereign city-state. Just only two things. You have Malacca Strait here. Now this is Indonesia and this is Singapore. Indonesia and Singapore are separated by Singapore Strait. And Malaysia and Singapore are separated by Johor Strait. Malaysia and Singapore are separated by Johor Strait. So these are the things that you have to remember. So Prime Minister visited here, visited to Chile. Singapore Prime Minister visited to India. These are the things. One more thing is important. ECOWAS is not important, leave it. IMEC, India Middle East Economic Corridor. So India Middle East Economic Corridor is passing through how? It starts with Mumbai, goes to Oman, this is Oman, and it is passing through Saudi Arabia, and then it goes to Saudi Arabia like this, and then it passes through Egypt, and it goes to Greece. So Indo Middle East Economic Corridor. So India Middle East Economic Corridor is passing through like this. So Middle East ద్వారా వెళ్తుంది, but this is suspended now due to Israel-Iran war. Israel-Iran war. Next, Iran is in news. I said this, I'll look at it at last. Kaladhan multi-model project. Kaladhan multi-model project is important. It is a joint venture between India and Myanmar. It is a joint venture between India and Myanmar, in which it starts with the so-called Kolkata, West Bengal, through sea route. It is going to connect through the so-called Sitaway port, and from here again it will be connecting northeast India. So Kaladhan is one important project because we have Siliguri corridor here. So in order to bypass that Siliguri corridor, India can reach the so-called northeast through this Kaladhan multi project. So Kaladhan is the project between India and Myanmar. Just remember that. Great Green Wall project, I already yesterday said this. So Great Green Wall project is containing this Sahel region. This is called Sahel region. So I said in order to stop Sahara Desert from extending beyond, they had this project known as Great Green Wall project. Next, Israel, already I said Gaza Strip. So Gaza peace talks are there. People are fighting. America went and America said that we'll be fighting, we'll be finding a solution. Right. This is the thing. So that is more than enough. Leave it. Palestine, not important. Leave. BIMSTEC, important. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Now there are these countries in BIMSTEC: India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka. India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. 4, 5, 6, 7. So India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. These are the BIMSTEC countries that we have. So the theme of this year meeting was BIMSTEC prosperous and resilient and open. BIMSTEC, it is prosperous, resilient, and open. So remember the theme. UPSC started asking themes last year. They asked the theme of one summit. So this year they can ask the theme of BIMSTEC also. So BIMSTEC summit theme is prosperous, resilient, and open. Next one, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So this is very difficult to remember all the names. So headquarters of NATO is Brussels, Belgium. Headquarters of NATO is Brussels, Belgium. Just remember 32 countries. Sweden is the last country to join. Sweden is the last country to join. So these are the things that we should remember as far as this topic is considered. So I'll just recall, don't go through each and everything. It will be difficult to recall everything. So whatever I say, you just remember North Sea route is proposed by India. Uh, uh, this is to counter Chinese version. China has started one road initiative, Polar Silk Road, in order to counter that India proposed Northern Sea route. So China proposed Polar Silk Road initiative in order to counter that we have Northern Sea route. Next one is what are this I said will come later. Chagos Archipelago were given to UK. Next one is Tokara Islands, Japanese extension. Bitra Islands are present in Lakshadweep today. New Caledonia, France colony. Easter Islands. To get submerged, here one thing you have to remember is UNESCO World Heritage Site you have to remember. Rapa Nui National Park. Rapa Nui National Park. Rapa Nui National Park. That is under threat. Israel already we have studied. Maldives, 8-degree channel, 9-degree channel, 10-degree channel, 8 degrees separates Lakshadweep with Minokai and Maldives, 8 degrees channel, Minokai and Maldives, 9 degrees channel, Lakshadweep and Minokai and 10 degrees channel. Next, Philippines. India and Philippines have entered into Plan of Action 2025-29. Philippines capital Manila. Philippines capital Manila. This is the headquarters of Asian Development Bank also. Next, you have Cyprus. Prime Minister of India visited here. Cyprus, it is the third largest island nation in the so-called Mediterranean Sea. Right. Capital is Nicosia. Capital is Nicosia. Nicosia is the capital here. So Mediterranean Sea, look at here. Right. This is important. It is an island nation. Next to Chile, Prime Minister visited Chile. Santiago, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru. Next, you have Lithium Triangle, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Andes Mountains are passing through it. Next, Singapore. We have Prime Minister of Singapore visited India. 60 years relationship. It is sovereign city-state, and Strait of Malacca is passing through it. Johor Strait separates the so-called Singapore from Malaysia. Next. This is Economic Council of West African Nations. Not important, leave it. IMEC, Indo-Middle East Economic Corridor. Next, Iran, we'll discuss later. Kaladhan, India, Myanmar, Great Green Wall Project, Sahel region, and then BIMSTEC, prosperous, resilient, open. Resilient and open. So what we have India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Sweden is the last country to join here. Next, as far as bilateral relations are considered, no need to remember everything. India and China has 75 years of diplomatic relationship. India and China has 75 years diplomatic relationship. There is no question that can be asked here. Leave it. India, China, Pakistan economic corridor. So we know that China has OBOR, one as a part of it. China has constructed this China-Pakistan economic corridor. So China economic corridor is running from Gwadar port to Kashgar. Now the problem here is it is passing through Indian occupied Kashmir. It is passing through Indian occupied Kashmir. So this is OBOR initiative. China-Pakistan economic corridor is passing through India's Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Next, China-India had 75 years of relationship. Just now we said this, right? Indus Water Treaty has been suspended. This is important. Indus Water. Indus has the following tributaries: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias, Sutlej. Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias, Sutlej. Now the treaty was signed or mediated by World Bank. The treaty was mediated by World Bank. Now, according to this treaty, 1960, World Bank has mediated it. According to this treaty, ICJ, remember ICJ, Indus, Chenab, Jhelum, ICJ will go to Pakistan's control is these three rivers. India has Ravi, Bias, Sutlej. Ravi, Bias, Sutlej. So control of Indian eastern rivers control is with India, western rivers control is with this. So after Operation Sindoor, we have suspended this Indus Water Treaty. So this is very, very important. Next. Bangladesh has been in news. The only thing that you have to remember is the Indian state surrendering Bangladesh. 5 Indian states surrenders Bangladesh. Already I made you to study this. So West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, These are the 5 states of India which is bordering Bangladesh. So West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. So after Sheikh Hasina has been ousted out from Bangladesh, the relationship between India and Bangladesh has started to have some rocky lines. As a result, what you have suspended some trade agreements. That is not important. Borders of Bangladesh, which states are under Bangladesh. You have to remember the names: West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. Will not remember Mizoram is a part. Mizoram is a part of it. Okay, don't forget it. Mizoram shares borders. And then this is the only thing that you have to remember here. Rest of the things that is not important. Right. Leave it. Next, Afghanistan, Kabul. Now, the famous thing that has happened last year is Afghanistan Taliban foreign minister. Afghanistan foreign minister of the Taliban government has visited India. This is marking the formal relationship between the Taliban ruled Afghanistan and India. So this is why Afghanistan foreign minister's visit have been highlighted in the news. So Afghanistan capital is Kabul, and you have to remember the borders of Afghanistan: Pakistan, India, Pakistan, India, China, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Iran. These are the borders. So Afghanistan borders are important: Pakistan, India, China, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Iran. So these are the borders of Afghanistan. Next, Sri Lanka. Very important. Sri Lanka has given our Prime Minister a highest civilian award of Sri Lanka, that is Mitra Vibhushana. So Mitra Vibhushana is the highest civilian award of Sri Lanka. Mitra Vibhushana is the highest civilian award of Sri Lanka. It was given to Prime Minister Modi. It was given to Prime Minister Modi. So in this context, you have to remember this. So Sri Lanka is separated from India through Pak Strait and Gulf of Mannar. Through Pak Strait and Gulf of Mannar, India and Sri Lanka are separated. Now, they remember 3 ports at least here: Port of Trincomalee, Port of Trincomalee, Port of Hambantota, Port of Hambantota, Colombo, Port of Colombo. These 3 ports you remember: Port of Trincomalee, Port of Hambantota, Port of Colombo. These are the 3 things that you have to remember. Next, Maldives. I have already said this. Prime Minister of India has visited Maldives. As a result, you have this in discussion. United Arab Emirates. This is also important because UAE Crown Prince visited India, and the entire Gulf countries are in news. So you have to remember about United Arab Emirates. We'll come back to Gulf countries later. Saudi Arabia, Gulf country. Next, Central Asia. Central Asia. Now, this is important. Bilateral investment treaty was made between India and Kyrgyzstan. Look at this blue color. India and Kyrgyzstan made bilateral investment treaty. Bilateral investment treaty. Now, why Central Asia is important? Because 4th India Central Asia dialogue was held in New Delhi. 4th India Central Asia dialogue was held in New Delhi. That is the reason Central Asia is important. So Central Asian countries are Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan. Right. Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan. These things, and Tajikistan. So at least you remember this. Bilateral investment treaty was made with which Central Asian country? Kyrgyzstan. Sorry, not the blue one. Kyrgyzstan is this one, purple one. So Kyrgyzstan. India had made this deal with Kyrgyzstan. Right. India has made bilateral investment treaty with Kyrgyzstan. India and Russia has completed 25 years of strategic partnership. Not important. Leave it. Next. Now here it is important again. Latin America. Just now I said Chile. In his visit to Chile, Prime Minister visited 2 other countries, that is known as Trinidad and Tobago and Argentina and Brazil. So he has also went to Brazil, Argentina, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago. Now why he went? Because 17th BRICS summit was held in Brazil this year. So 17th BRICS summit was held last year. in Brazil. As a result, Prime Minister visited to this land. So Prime Minister went to Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Trinidad and Tobago. 17th BRICS Summit was held here. 17th BRICS Summit was held here. Next, India and this country has made comprehensive economic trade agreement. India and UK has made comprehensive economic trade agreement. So Prime Minister of India visited Japan. Prime Minister of India visited Japan. So this is important. Japan has 4 mainlands, 4 main islands. You have to remember them. This is previous year question. Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kunshu. Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kunshu. Japan's islands. Japan's islands are these 4. Next, 22nd ASEAN Summit. ASEAN is important because Timor-Leste became a new country of ASEAN. So today ASEAN is 11 members group. ASEAN is 11 members group. So you have Timor-Leste, the last country to join this group. And ASEAN Summit was held in Malaysia recently. So in Malaysia, ASEAN group of countries met, or ASEAN Summit was held. Prime Minister of India visited Namibia recently. So Namibia, Prime Minister visited. So capital of Namibia is Windhoek, Windhoek. Capital of Namibia is Windhoek. Now Namibia is important because we have some deserts here. Namib Desert, Kalahari Desert. Namib and Kalahari Desert are present here. Now rivers are also important here. The rivers flowing through Namibia are Okavango, Zambezi, Orange, and Kuneni. Kuneni, Okavango, Zambezi, Orange. Namib Desert and Kalahari Desert are the deserts which are present here. Next, Namibia has world's richest marine diamond deposits. Here we have world's largest diamond deposits in marine. So Prime Minister visited Namibia. Namibia is important for us. So what are the borders of Namibia? Angola, Zambia, and then look at it. You have Angola, Zambia, Botswana, South Africa. South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Angola are the borders of Namibia. Namibia is important. At least remember these bordering countries, rivers, deserts, and Namibia boasts world's richest marine deposits. Now, not only he went to Namibia, Prime Minister also visited Ghana. Ghana, capital of Ghana is Accra. So what I am expecting this year is they can ask some capitals where our Prime Minister has went. Namibia, Windhoek, Ghana, Accra, ACCRA. Now look at this Ghana, Accra. Ghana is called as Gold Coast. Ghana got independence after 10 years of India. 1957 they got independence here. Now this is also called as Gold Coast earlier. Gold Coast earlier. Right. Gold Coast earlier here. Next వచ్చేసి Ghana borders. Ghana borders. Ivory Coast. This is Ivory Coast. Burkina Faso, Togo. Togo, Burkina Faso, and Ivory Coast are borders of Ghana. Are borders of Ghana. This is important that you have to remember. This is important that you have to remember. Right. So again, I am saying what are the things? Ghana is Accra capital, ACCRA Accra capital. This is called as Gold Coast earlier. Borders you have to remember. Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and there will be prime meridian, right? 0° longitude. So it will be passing through Ghana also. That will come across in geography. Namibia, borders South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Angola. Remember borders, capital, Namib Desert, Kalahari Desert, and then we have world's richest marine diamond deposits. ASEAN group, very, very important. ASEAN summit held in Malaysia. Timor-Leste is the last country to join. Japan, Prime Minister of India visited Japan. Right. Now we have Japan 4 islands, Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kunshu. These are the 4 islands of Japan. And then in the United Kingdoms, India and UK has signed the so-called Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. But more than that, one more agreement is important. I'll come to that. So BRICS summit was held in Brazil. As a part of this, Prime Minister visited Brazil this year, Argentina, Chile, and then he visited the so-called Trinidad and Tobago. 17th, the BRICS summit was held in Brazil. ASEAN summit was held in Malaysia. Right. Next. Central Asian Republic, India and Kyrgyzstan entered into which force? Bilateral Investment Treaty. India and Kyrgyzstan entered into Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT. Next. 7 degrees, 8 degrees, 9 degrees, Sri Lanka, India. So you have to remember only these things. One is Gulf of Mannar, Park Strait, Trincomalee Port, Hambantota Port, Colombo Port. Next, you have Afghanistan. Borders you have to remember because Afghanistan Foreign Minister visited India. Bangladesh, Indian states which are surrounding Bangladesh are important. We'll forget the so-called Mizoram. Don't forget Mizoram. This is the thing. Indus Water Treaty, Eastern Waters, ICJ, very important to remember. International Court of Justice, you can remember, ICJ. So, ICJ was given to the so-called control was given to India. Yes, so sorry, was given to Pakistan, and this control was given to Indian control. Indian control. Next. So these are the treaties that we have as far as this point is considered. Next one. Very, very, very important Pakka question this year is this. European Free Trade Association. Extremely important, guys. Again, I am saying this is a must to be asked question this year. European Free Trade Association. Definitely we'll find this. So India made Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, TEPA. This is like one type of FTA, okay? Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement. India entered into Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement with European countries, which is known as India-European Free Trade Association, EFTA. India-European Free Trade Association. Which are the countries of EFTA? There are 4 countries. What are the 4 countries? Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Switzerland. నార్వే, ఐస్లాండ్, లీచ్టెన్స్టీన్, స్విట్జర్లాండ్. ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ 4 గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. డెఫినెట్గా యూరోపియన్ ఫ్రీ ట్రేడ్ అసోసియేషన్. Now both the countries have agreed to have a binding commitment of $100 billion investments, $100 billion investments and 1 million direct jobs for the next 15 years. So it came into force from 1st October 2005. So the target is by 2040, you should have $100 billion investment and 1 million direct jobs European Free Trade Association. You can expect this question. Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Switzerland. Next, coming to India, they have given some Indian questions, not important. No need to go each and everything. Whatever I say, you just remember them. Now, Chenab Rail Bridge is important. World's highest railway arch bridge is Chenab Rail Bridge. This is important because Prime Minister highlighted this 2 to 3 times in his speech last year. So Prime Minister went there, inaugurated this. As a result, this is very, very important. So Chenab Rail Bridge. Sri Vijayapuram second well, natural gas. Inform the occurrence of natural gas here. Sri Vijayapuram well is present in Andaman. So just remember that is more than enough. Next, environment. All my ASTRA students should have known what are biosphere reserves. There are 18 biosphere reserves of UNESCO, and in that man and animal biosphere reserves of 13, 5 are not components of man and animal biosphere reserve. So I already made you to go through it. No need to go and study here. So already you studied man and animal biosphere reserves. So what are the total biosphere reserves in India? 18. Man and animal biosphere reserves are 13. Which are not component of man and animal biosphere reserves? Manas, Dibru-Saikova, Dihang, Seshachalam, Kutch. So these 5, Kutch, Seshachalam, Dibang Dihang, Dibru-Saikova, Manas. These are not part of MAB. They are not part of MAB. Rest of the things are MABs. New Ramsar sites, you cannot be remember, leave it. Wetlands in India, not important. Beaches, not important. Anni good bet koleb, leave it. Now this is important, guys. Technology. Genius Act was passed by which country? USA passed Genius Act. GENIUS. Genius Act. This is to establish regulatory framework for stable coins. Regulatory framework for stable coins. They can ask this question. Genius Act has been passed by this. Next. Atlas Survey Telescope. Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Telescope in Chile discovered an interstellar comet. Okay, Atlas telescope is present in Chile. Just now we discussed about Chile, so remember that. Now this is important. Russia is coming out with anti-cancer drug. So anti-cancer drug made up of mRNA, messenger RNA. So cancer vaccines are going to come or is going to be tested by this one. So Russia is developing oncolytic vaccine enteromics. Oncolytic vaccine enteromics. Oncolytic vaccine enteromics is personalized mRNA cancer vaccine for cancer treatment. For cancer treatment, this is extremely important. Now, Pan Genome Project of China. Pan means entire, right? PAN, Genome Project. So, Pacific Bio High Fidelity, PACBIO, PAC Bio High Fidelity Sequence Technology. So, they can ask this. Pan Genome is what they created is they created the genes, uh, 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 the gene sequencing of Asian rice. Asian rice. So who has created? China has created this. Pan Genome Project is of China. Which genes they have created this sequencing? Asia rice. Next, world's largest neutrino detector. World's largest neutrino detector is Jiangmen. 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 Jiangmen is world's largest neutrino observatory. World's largest neutrino observatory is Jiangmen. 3D printed train station Japan వాళ్ళు బిల్డ్ చేశారంట. ఓకే, heritable human genome editing. Genome editing UPSC is asking. So heritable human genome editing is conducted by South Africa. Is done by South Africa. Next, we'll come back to India later. Not all are important here. So these are the things you have to remember. So what I'll do is I'll stop the class here. So what I discussed, we have discussed few segments. I will be uploading the PDF in my Telegram channel. Whatever I have discussed, no need to take Xerox, nothing. Whatever I said, that will be available there. Just go through it. So PDF of class 2 and PDF of class 3 will be available to you today. So PDF of class 1 is already updated. So one version of PDF is available in our ASTRA Dhanush Academy class app. In our application, mobile application itself, PDFs are being uploaded for current affairs. Apart from that, in Telegram, it is being uploaded. One PDF I have uploaded. The rest of the PDFs, you can download it. Bye guys. I'll be stopping the class here. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Thank you all.